Hey, welcome to my day 13 reflection on walking the Camino. This is from Burgos to Castrojeriz, if I'm saying that correctly. Long walk. And what's happening is I'm starting to go a little bit longer, and I'm actually leaving behind the group that I launched with, right? So a lot of people will stay on the same stages, right? The same geographic path. And so they'll see the same group of people at the end of their walk during that day and then go on from there. I've been picking up my pace a bit now that I've got my health back, now that I'm moving into stages that are not nearly as challenging. At this point, I'm no longer walking with my ankle brace from when I dislocated it back on day 3. I'm not wearing any of my compression socks for my calves or my knees. So at the beginning, I had literally 6. I had double compression socks on my calves and compression socks, knee compression knee braces, and uh, my ankle brace. So I'm practically what do you call that? Part. I'm kind of taped together, right? So now I'm in more of a okay. I'm feeling healthier. The roads again are still now smoothing out more. Still, there's some hills, and it was a long road. And at the end of that long road, got to a place to stay. That was it was actually quite beautiful and comfortable. And what was unique was that the owner of the of this hostel was blind or very significantly vision impaired, and so he had to use some equipment, some special apps and equipment to be able to take in our information and to show us around. He was using a walking stick to be able to get him to show us the different places. And it was he it took him longer to get through things, but he was able to get it done. It was impressive what he was able to do as a blind man. That theme actually played a part in what happened next. There were a few other people that were staying in that same hostel with me. And right next door to us was a place to relax and get a beer and something to eat at the end of the long walk. And that's a pretty standard practice. Okay. So you get up, you might have a coffee and something to eat at breakfast. You might stop in the middle of the day if it's a longer day and have some lunch, or again, a couple of snacks during a couple of breaks. And then when you get to the end of the day, one of the greatest enjoyments is just going, sitting down, having a nice big cold beer and something to munch on. And so that tends to be a setting for folks in a more relaxed, we've all just accomplished something that was maybe difficult, right? And it was hot and sunny and it was a long walk and it was tiring. And here we are. Hey, can I join you? Yes. So I ended up joining this married couple, a little bit older than me, and one of their friends. Actually, the wife and her friend were my age, and the husband was a little bit older, and from Australia. Neat people. I tell you, Australians are incredibly friendly, really just open and friendly and engaging, enjoyable. And there was another woman that had come up, another American. We're not nearly as friendly, but she was fine. But she was hurting. She was just visibly took 5 seconds to just read her and just say, "Oh, she's in a throbbing place of pain on this Camino journey," and could barely kind of get it out that she was there because of some recent tragedies that had reached her life. Didn't get into it with me. So most of the conversation was between the three of them and me. And the first, let's say, 45 minutes of it was really beautiful and enjoyable and powerful and life-giving, as we talked a bit about why we were there and what was the meaning of our Camino, and I talked a bit about my 10x life. That seemed to be a better fit for these folks who weren't really like fully engaged in the path of faith in their lives. But it eventually came around that, yeah, I'm very Catholic in how I'm living my life and what I'm doing with my life. And so then I was blind. Yeah, blindness reached me. I just actually failed. I think I failed. Who knows? Maybe God redeemed it, or was doing something there that was not an easy gift to give. But I tend to think more that I fell short of what God would have had me do. What had happened was, back in Burgos, there was a big cathedral, and they asked if I had a chance to go into it, and I didn't. I just saw the outside. I had walked a long way. I was tired, and I said, I'll get back to it. And I never did because I was just still recovering. Well, the two women started to talk about the negative impact of the statuary, of the sarcophagi, the tombs, the paintings and imagery that were all over this cathedral. And they described it as indicative of and confirming of the patriarchal negative uh, negative approach to authority, the negative place that the diminished and dismissed place that women have in the Catholic world, and the overarching emphasis on shame and sin and death. And are we really that surprised? Well, I was just a little bit taken aback by that. And they wanted my, what were your thoughts on it? Well, I unfortunately was like, I'm so clever and I'm so good at dialogue that I can gently and easily show these people that, you know what, your approach to these things is lacking. It's really not appropriate, and your positions are, in fact, incorrect. And conversation did not go well. I tried to make it more personal. I tried to, say, the one woman was like, I've had all these negative experiences with the church. I said, please, on behalf of the church, I'm so sorry. And then they attacked me for doing that. And then I tried to say, hey, I'm here to walk as a pilgrim. I'm doing this for my own family. There's spiritual good that's coming to my family by my penance. It's going to free up my kids and bring blessings to their lives. And they're like, that's just naive. That's not the way things happen. I'm just like, okay. Oh, so I didn't like being called naive. I did not. By someone who's not practicing her Catholic faith and who is absolutely convinced about the rightness of her own stance about the negative way that women are treated and seen in the Catholic faith. And I decided, I'm going to push back as hard to you in the statements that you've just said to me. The statements you've said to me are, frankly, so offensive and demeaning and belittling, and no sense of openness to inquire. Tell me more. What might that mean? That's different than I would have thought. That's new to me. I really want to hear more of what you're saying. That I thought, you know what? I'm going to speak back to you exactly the way you just spoke to me. Didn't work. No converts. All of the beautiful goodwill, the beautiful sense of, oh, we enjoy this guy, Tom. He's a great guy to talk to. He, he's someone that makes us want to just be open to maybe the Catholic faith in a new way because of all the goodwill that came from that really interesting conversations we were having. Just drained out of the room, just out of the open air restaurant. It got bad. At one point they were saying, you know, you have this negative impression and in women here are just kept down and beaten down. And I just said, I'll tell you what, I'll take my 4 oldest daughters that are there and I'll just have them sit on this little couch on this other part of this restaurant that are here. And you know what they would say to you? They go into these Catholic schools and they've lived their Catholic life. They'd say, we feel really sad for you because that's not our experience at all. We feel tremendous dignity and celebrated and advanced as women. And we just really feel sad for you and we pray for you. How do you think that went over? Oh, they were fuming. Oh, terrible. So later that night, I was talking to Carrie. I said, Carrie, I got to tell you about this conversation. And I just shared it kind of like I shared with you. She said, Tom, are you a knucklehead? She said, why would you do that? You know, you're not going to change anybody's mind. You're not going to like convince them that, oh, you finally said it in a way that I understand. I am so wrong. All you had to do is to say, you know, I completely understand what you're saying. And he's like, that's not the reason I'm Catholic. I'm Catholic because of the love of Jesus that I encounter there. It's because of him that I meet. And it's his love that I meet. And I did, that's what I want for you. And I thought, why aren't you here with me? Why aren't you here with me on this Camino? I really could have used you here. And you'll find out tomorrow when I share with you the incredible blessing that happened as a result of my failure, as a result of the approach I took, the explosive failure that it had, and then my conversation with Carrie that gave me the antidote or the difference that I could use going forward. And I have in the positive impact you'll find out in a couple of conversations tomorrow and in a couple of days to come. But the total story with these folks is not over yet. And it's kind of neat because God did give me a chance to redeem what happened in this relationship. And I can tell you how now. I'll at least give you the preview of it. So we were staying in these rooms in this hotel. The next day, we both traveled to the same town, 15 miles or so away. And we end up being in the same hotel. In the previous hotel, we were in the same hotel right across the hall from each other. The next day, we were in the same hotel in another city in the room right across from each other. Unbelievable. They laughed. I can't believe it. And they said, this is unbelievable. And then they said, where are you staying tomorrow? I said, well, I just booked it. There's no way we're in the same place because I'm in this place. It's a big city with dozens of places to stay. I said, I'm in a hotel that has a pool on the roof. And they exploded with laughter. You're kidding me. That's where we're staying too. And so God's hand was on this. God knew that I would have multiple chances and that it's going to come back to play in 2 days. So stay tuned because there is a part 2 to this story of a failure and you'll see it redeemed tomorrow. So final word. When we encounter people who have personal history that has led to negative ways of seeing the church and negative attitudes that flow from that way of seeing it, don't imagine that you are the angel sent from God to bring them special knowledge that's going to somehow disentangle and unwind the attitudes and the framework that is deeply embedded in them, their mindset. It takes a conversion of mindset, a grace of interior metanoia, a change of mind. And that's a gift that comes from God. And it's a gift I'm praying for in their regard. And so we have to be more humble to meet people where they're at and to begin to walk with them, but to walk with them in a place that just might be disarming and just might actually open a door for a powerful encounter with God. And that's what you're going to hear about tomorrow. God bless.